Welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast with Noelle Kustas, where we ignite the spark to discover your favorite self. It is time to get real, ladies. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Rise to Shine podcast. I am your host, Noelle Kustas, and I am so excited to be here with you today. And I have some really exciting news. I just found out that this podcast, we as a collective, have now become a podcast in the top 10% globally. I am so excited, and I owe all of you such a huge thank you because it is you that tune in. You guys are the ones that are subscribing. You're the ones sharing it with others. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I needed to celebrate with you this morning, and I'm drinking coffee. So here's a little cheers, a little coffee cheers. And just wanted to say that before we started our recording. I love you guys. And are you ready for today's episode? It's going to be a good one. I know I say that all the time, but I really feel like we are here to add so much value, but also to go deeper and to really start to spark transformation, start to spark a life that you love, and continue giving you stories and tools that help you do that. So today's episode is going to be fun. I am going to start by asking you this question. When was the last time you asked yourself how you actually want to feel this season? Not what needs to get done or needs you next, and not what is on the schedule, but you. What do you want this summer to feel like? What do you want it to feel like in your body, in your energy? What do you want it to feel like in your days? Because I don't know, summer has this magical way of shifting things. And for some of us, it becomes maybe a slower rhythm. For others, it is a total pivot because maybe your kids are at home, there's new routines because the routine is very different when you have kids. Whether you stay home with them or not, the routines change. And there's a different type of juggling than during the different seasons. And no matter what our summer looks like, one thing is always true about that is I always feel like it is a time that we can reset. And I talk to so many women, especially those that are my clients or in the Glow Up School, just women that are in my world who are doing all of the things. As a matter of fact, I feel like that is the energy we draw into this podcast. It's all of you women doing all of the things. You're the ones that are running the businesses. You're the ones raising the families, building dreams, navigating transitions. And yet, what I'm finding is that the majority of you don't pause to check in and ask, is this even the energy that I want to live in? Because what we do is we just keep living and we don't ask ourselves, is this the energy that I really want to be living in? So today we're going to dive into something fun, a little creative, but something that I'm going to tell you is really, really powerful. And I know this is going to sound cliche, but it's how to design a life that feels like sunshine. Now, we're not going to be overhauling all of the things. But what we are going to be doing is we're going to be choosing joy on purpose. And we're going to do that through a few different things. We're going to do that through mood boards. And I can't wait to share with you about these. We're going to do it through micro moments and the permission to play. Because what I want you to do is I want you to feel like this summer is different. And I want to kind of just tell you where this all started. So, the idea of creating a monthly mood board honestly came from another coach that I absolutely adore. Her energy just like radiates this creativity and clarity. She's just really awesome. And I met her in person and then I was following her, still continue to follow her. And I noticed that she made this a monthly practice out of, putting together these mood boards. Now, I want to tell you that a mood board is different than a vision board with, all of your big goals and timelines. Okay. So a lot of us do that maybe at the beginning of a year, right? This is more about a vibe. It's more about a feeling. And what I loved, it was a way of being that she wanted to step into that month specifically. And I'm going to be honest with you, at first I was like, this might just be a lot of fluff and, pretty. And I mean, you know, I love a good aesthetic. Like, I love, love, love all the pretty things. But my to-do list was long, and this felt kind of like it was just going to be a luxury that I didn't really have time for because I know how much I've put into vision boards at the beginning of the year and things like that. But I kept watching her, and something inside of me was like, just try it. Just try it and see anyway, no matter what. What's the worst that can happen? So I did. And I sat down with some different images that I found on Pinterest and on Canva. Of course, I'm a quote girl, so I loved collecting some quotes. But what I really loved is I started kind of collecting colors. Like, what was my vibe? What was my feeling for the month? I even started to tap into some music and I asked myself, what do I want this month to feel like? Okay. So different, a little bit different than what do I just want it to look like? I didn't want it to really be all around what I wanted to achieve or how many boxes can I check? But I wanted this to really, I wanted to like embody how I was going to feel in my body. How did I want to feel in my business? How did I want to feel at home and in my relationships? That's what I really tapped into. And when I did that, something shifted and I started showing up a little bit differently. I started to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more intentional. And I realized that my days weren't just happening to me, but that I was starting to create something on purpose. So after doing this for the last few months, I knew that there was something to it. I was like, this isn't just a cute little fluffy thing to do. It really started to become a powerful practice, and I actually looked forward to it at the beginning of each month. And I was like, okay, my glow girls need this. So this month, we have introduced it into the school as a digital interactive workshop. And we're creating mood boards together for the month. And yes, is it fun? It is fun. But I want to share with you, it's also really transformational. And here's the biggest difference between this and a typical vision board. Vision boards are often about like someday, sometime this year, big dreams, the long-term goals. But the mood boards, this is what I love, they're about right now. How do I want to feel this month? What's the energy I want to call in today? For this month. And so it's kind of like setting this whole feeling vibe. I know that's like the thing everyone says now. It's a vibe, but it really is. And then what we're doing is we're starting to align it with our intentions. And then you start to align it with your self-care, your calendar. And then here's what's really cool, your boundaries and all of the other things start to match it. So I feel like it's going to be one of my favorite things to add to the Glow Up School. And I truly believe that whether or not you're a journaler or maybe a visual person or someone who just wants to feel more in control of your energy, this practice will meet you where it's at and it will become what it needs to be for you. And what I wish more women believed is that you don't have to earn joy. You don't have to hustle your way to it or, prove that you're worthy of it or wait until everything is perfect to allow it. You're allowed to start creating that joy each month right now, even if you're in the middle of messy things. Even if there are things that you don't even have figured out yet, this is still a practice that you can implement. Because I think what ends up happening a lot with women is that we have internalized this belief that joy is only a reward for productivity. Like, let me get through this week and then I'll do it. Or once the kids are settled in, then I can do it. Or after I do this thing, I'll finally be able to rest and I'll finally be able to get to that little mood board that you're talking about. But what if joy wasn't a reward? What if it was the fuel for you? That's what this whole mood board practice started to open up for me. It invited me in to stop chasing and start creating things. And here is, honestly, this is the best part. I started to tap into what lights me up because I hear so many women going, I don't know what to do. I don't, I'm feeling frustrated. I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And we forget to start to think about what is lighting you up and what isn't lighting you up. And so this becomes a little strategic, but it doesn't have to be in an achievement driven way. It becomes more of a sensory way. I hope that's making sense. And here's the thing too. I just want to preface it with this. I am not an artist. Like if you give me a sketchbook and expect anything magical to happen, not probably going to happen. Like my kids used to laugh as I was the teacher and I would have to draw on the board. I was like, oh boy, I loved the directed draw activities, let me tell you. But this is how I get to tap into my creative space without feeling all of this pressure. No one is grading it. It's not about being good at it. It's about capturing a feeling, that vibe. And it's that frequency that I really, really, really am striving to live in. So it's things like the music, the color palettes, the way sunlight hits my morning coffee. Like when I'm sitting in my office, I love the sunlight that comes in. And I love to drink my coffee and cozy up to a journal. I love when I get to like think about the coziness and the texture of a cozy sweatshirt. We're heading to the beach this summer, and I gotta tell you, I'm like already dreaming of cuddling up in my sweatshirts at night. But then I also love like the sparkle of, and if you're watching this, you see that like the sparkle of my earrings. I love statement earrings. Or the playlist that I use before I get on a big meeting. All of these little pleasures, the things that light me up, started to become intentional choices that actually supported the way I wanted to feel. And guess what? That, my friends, that's play. That's creativity. That is what the embodiment means. When we allow ourselves to play with beauty, with color, with expression, we're actually, and hear me out here, what I'm finding is we're actually regulating our nervous systems when we're doing this. We're saying to ourselves, you're safe here. You deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel joy. And for me, you guys know that I'm in this whole glow up era, and that's been a huge part of my glow up. And again, it's always a work in progress. I'm still working at it. I'm still supporting others, but now I'm doing it with more joy in my day. And that joy has literally changed everything. So if no one has told you lately, you're allowed to design a life that feels good. Not someday, starting right now in this season. And that's why I was so excited to get this episode out here at the beginning of the summer. And if you're not listening to it at the beginning of the summer, maybe you're hearing a replay somewhere down the line, start now anyways. It's okay. Because most of us have spent all these years setting goals based on what we should want, right? But what if instead of chasing those outcomes, we started feeling into who we were becoming? That again is where the magic starts to happen with the mood boards. Again, I just want to keep saying it's not about what you're going to accomplish, it's about the energy you want to embody, the frequency you want to live in, the version of yourself that feels true to you. And maybe this month you want to be really, really aligned with softness. Maybe that's the feel that you're vibing for right now. Or maybe you're like, you know what? This month, I want to go with the whole vibe of being bold. So, whatever is calling you in, that is what, or that you're calling in, whatever it is that you're feeling, go with that energy. And when I start, so I've done this for the last few months, and when I start, I always consider, those questions like, for me, I'm a journaler. So I'll ask myself things like, what is the vibe right now? What do I need more of? Sometimes it's peace. Maybe it's the opposite of that. Maybe it's connection or ease or movement. Maybe it's luxury. I'm really just feeling this vibe of luxury. Or maybe I am just feeling this vibe of play. Remember, there isn't a wrong answer. And that's what I love. And then from there, what I do is I start to pull those images. I start to pull those quotes and the colors and the textures. And then what I do is I start to curate this visual affirmation of the woman I'm becoming this month. And you start to notice how your days begin to align with that board. You start choosing like a certain kind of vibey music. You start to choose a certain type of clothing to wear, and maybe even the food you eat or the conversations that you're having. Because it's not manifesting by just sitting and wishing for things, right? It's embodying things first and then watching your life start to catch up to that. And again, not about perfection. Your mood board can be messy. It can be very minimal. It can be simple. It can be really vibrant. It can be poetic. The point is that you're not impressing anyone. It's a check-in with you by yourself, who you're becoming and how you can anchor into that energy right now. And here's something that I really, really, really want you to hear because someone said this to me not too long ago. Joy isn't extra, and it isn't a luxury, and it's not a bonus. I actually started using Choose Joy many years ago. And if you've known me for any length of time, you know that joy is my favorite word. I mean, on Instagram, I go by Joyful Noelle. And it has been this guiding light for me through so many chapters. But even with that word being close to my heart, I noticed how easy it was to downplay joy. Because sometimes we start to think it's selfish to center it. We think it's something we have to wait for, like I said earlier. We have to wait until after the work is done. Then we'll make space for joy. But here's what I've learned in my own glow up journey. Joy isn't something we earn, it's something we actually can follow. Because when I follow joy, that's when I start to find the clarity. When I listen to what's lighting me up, even in the small, subtle ways, I get closer to who I really am. And that's why I started to track joy. Just like those little moments, I call them those micro joys. It's kind of like the God's wink. It's the laugh that I didn't expect to have that moment. It's the feeling after I, you know, go to the gym and I'm like complaining that I have to go to the gym. And then it's the micro joy of how I feel after. Or the moments that I actually look into the mirror and I'm like, hey, I actually really like how my hair looks today. I actually feel good today. Or here's an example. I was laughing. My daughter was driving to her college course that she was taking this last weekend. And she put on her Instagram, she's like, the first 45 seconds of this song just hits. And it's only 7 a.m. And I was like, that's what it is. It's a song that just hits right there in the car for you, like unexpected micro joys. These become everything. Because if you can follow the trail of what feels joyful, even just one tiny spark, it's going to lead you to a life that you're meant to live. Not the one that we were conditioned to build, not the one that you've outgrown, but the one that's waiting for you right now. So listen to it. When this gal was talking about joy, she's like, joy is not the dessert, it's part of the recipe. And you don't need the permission to choose it, but just in case you've been waiting for it, here it is. Here's what I want you to ask yourself today, and maybe even journal on it or speak it into a voice note on your phone. What do I want this season to feel like? Not what you want to accomplish, not what needs fixing right now, but simply what's the energy you want to live in right now? And then just start small. Create your own mood board. It can be digital. I love to use Canva. I also grab things from Pinterest. You can even just get on your phone and save some images. Maybe there's some things that come up that you love. Or if you want to go old school, print some photos, print some quotes, maybe put some textures on a board. I used to do them on a poster board. Well, the vision boards I did. But my point is you don't need to overthink it. Just let it be yours, let it guide you, and have fun with it. See what it is that your vibe is this month. And of course, if you do create one, you have to show it to me. I mean, you don't have to show it publicly. I would love for you to tag me on Instagram at Joyful Noelle so I can cheer you on and see what you're calling in this season. And we can light up the feed with all these joy-filled energy boards. But if you're like, I really don't want the world to see this, and of course, I will not share your names, but you can just share it with me privately. And of course, if you're craving more of this, if you want to explore joy and confidence and your nervous system healing, if you want to do the identity work and soulful growth in a space that's made for real women in real life, come join us in the Glow Up School, you guys. We are going to be doing this mood board practice together every single month. And we're not going to just be talking about growth, we actually live it. And it's designed to meet you where you are, whether you're just beginning on your glow up journey or stepping into your boldest chapter. So I want to just encourage you, go make something beautiful today, even if it's just the beginning of a feeling. And then, of course, if this episode sparks something in you, again, I would love to see you in the Glow Up School. All right, friends. Well, until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and know the best is right here waiting for you today. And I cannot wait to hear about or see some of those mood boards. I hope this has inspired you today to take flight and do something creative. Have fun. If you have any questions, reach out. And until next time, bye, my friends. Thanks for joining me here today. Your presence means the world to me. If you enjoyed what you heard, please consider leaving a rating and review. And don't forget to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Head to the show notes and let's connect. Rise to Shine Co. is ready to support you in coaching, collaboration, life tips, or even a coffee chat. Until next time, keep shining, my friends.